Greetings, people. This is Top Cat Jimmy, and thank you for tuning into my channel. I am in a Pro Tools session, and actually, I'm just familiarizing myself with Pro Tools. And the first DAW I ever used was back in 2015 in October, of that year. So a little over a year now that I've been familiarized with using a DAW, generally speaking. And so the first DAW that I've ever used was, and I still have it and use it, is the Magix Music Maker 2016 that I actually got in 2015. I used it in October, November, and December of 2015, and then January of 2016 as well. Created 4 songs with that DAW. And also, last year in 2016, somewhere probably around, I'd say August or September, and I'm going to have to look at my records, but I found out about Acoustica Mixcraft 7, so I purchased that. After I did the 30-day free trial on both of those DAWs, then I decided to go ahead and purchase them. One at a time, of course. And so now I've just recently purchased Pro Tools towards the, when was that as well? Probably October of 2016. So now I'm using it today. I have not had much of a chance to familiarize myself with the DAW of Pro Tools, and I have not had the time to invest into it. So what I am doing today is I'm still working on a song. It's actually my very first song that I've ever composed back in 2010 when I took up the guitar. And 5 months later, from having taken up the guitar, I found myself able to compose. And so I composed this song, arranged it, the whole 9 yards, and it's just been waiting to be given a real good studio version recording. Now, what I do have here is a track from the original rehearsal of this song back in 2010, and it is with my buddy Robert, who is actually my first one and only guitar instructor. And next thing you know, 5 months later, he was accompanying me on my music and songs that I was composing, and by 7 months of playing, I had 7 songs composed. So with the 5th and 6th and 7th month, I composed 7 songs. So anyway, this here is actually a recording of him and me back then in mono on same track, plugged into my Memorex home recording studio machine there that you might have seen in one of my videos, and we're plugged into that, and this is recorded into a flash drive. Took that USB, popped it in my computer, and burned out a CD. All right, now I took that CD with all the tracks on there for my recordings, and I put them in one song file on like 12 different tracks of my Tascam DP24. So I have this on track 10, and what I'm attempting to do, and have been attempting to do, and am still working on, is do that good studio version recording of my first song. By the way, is titled Redemption. So anyway, I'm at work on it today. So here I am going to go ahead and play the song, but what I really want to do is I want to edit it, okay? even edit that and get a recording of it here on my Pro Tools, and it gives me a chance to use my Pro Tools finally. And once I edit that, then I want to kind of play along with it on a couple of different guitars. Now, this guitar is the very guitar that you'll hear Robert playing. He's the accompaniment and the rhythm and section, and he does have a lead part in there too, as well. And this is the very guitar that he used in it. This is my guitar. I bought it, and it's a righty guitar. Okay, and when I bought it because I really liked the finish on it, that blue sparkle. I actually went to a pawn store, my local pawn store, and I bought a number of guitars from them and some amps and other things in the Memorex recording machine and whatnot. And I do and will buy music gear from a pawn store, man. And these are some nice people there too that own it and run it. And anyway, they know I'm into music, and they really encourage me besides on a personal basis and when I stop in and see them. And so I went in and seen this there, and I know it's a righty guitar, but I just love it, man. And you know what? It's light, it's thin, and it's just beautiful. So I'm a lefty. I called Fender, see if they made any left-handed models. This Fender Stratocaster, and no, they do not. They will make me a custom one for quite a bit of money, which I did not go for that deal, although I'd like to have one of these. But what I did is I strung it Jimi Hendrix style, all right, in a way. But I reversed the strings. And that didn't sound right, so I reversed them back to normal. Then Robert was playing this guitar, and he would play this guitar, okay, when he would go into sessions with me, you know, both in training and teaching me and then accompanying me. And then also I was emceeing an open mic back in 2011, and then he was there and he would play the guitar, this one there, and he made it sound really good. He can make this guitar sing. Now, I really like the sound of this guitar on this recording, so I'm going to attempt to, I've attempted to mimic Rob's style and ability of playing, and you know, I don't think I quite got it down pat, but I really am trying to imitate him to as best as I can and get the sound of this guitar in my recording. I want to actually add this to my studio version recording, and the reason that Rob ain't here to play it because he's just very busy, and I wish he was available to be on this album or song or whatever. He just doesn't seem to be. So anyway, I said all that to say I'm about to get on with this. I want to play this song recording that I have of the rehearsal back from 2010 into the Pro Tools. I'm going to edit it, take some parts out because don't want to hear those in this edit, and then I want to take this and practice with it. And so this is going to be a few different recordings here in one video. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and say on that note, I'm going to get to work on this, and I'll go ahead and screen record some of this and whatnot, and I'll have to edit that too. All right, here we go. Thanks. And yes, I would like to interject that I did have to restring it back up lefty style. So the thick, low E string is up top, you know, A, D, G, B, and then on the bottom is the high E string. Okay, so just thought I'd mention that. Ready? On with the Pro Tools session here. All right, folks, well, I'm about to start the show here on the music, and I will warn you in advance, though you're only going to hear and see portions of this, it does start out, well, pretty not so great. It's lemony, I'll put it that way. But mind you, you know, consider the conditions and everything of what I mentioned of how this was recorded and whatnot. So please forgive the lemoniness of this. And it is high-pitched and squeaky and squawky, so just if we can get past that first, I do think there's some good parts in here, all right? So let's go ahead and do that, and away we go. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and arm the track here. By the way, in case you didn't know, so there's the faders for the mixer, and how we go about that is we want to say window, go to mix, okay, and then that's going to come up. Alright, so I just put that behind the main part of the DAW, and so away we go. We're going to be set here. Alrighty, now just want to make sure everything's good. Alright.
This is Jimmy and Robert Quino, the Under Construction Band. This is our rough draft recording of our first song. Say, Rob, are you heard him? Here we go. Count it off. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, there we go. That's part of it. Let's see here. Okay. So now I'm going to edit this here. So right there, I want to take out. Okay, I got to go back to this. I got it on the hand. So you don't want to have it on the hand. Otherwise, you're going to be able to move your tracks around. And you don't want to. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. But here's what I want to do. All right, so I want to go ahead and just take that part out. So let's see if I can cut that. All right. Okay, so now, nevertheless, that's the area I wanted to get rid of. Crossfade it a little bit. Let's try there. Okay, let's try that again. See, what's going on here is that this is the original first recording. Okay, and so what I did is I repeated, okay, myself a lot in that first initial recording. So I'm getting rid of those excess times. So I want to get rid of that. So let's see what. Let's clear. Well, okay, so on the last part I hit cut, and this part I hit clear. Well, that's fine. Alright, see, I repeated myself way too many times on that. You don't want to click back on that part. You want to click up here. Alright, so you don't end up undoing that. Highlight. Can you come back here, please? There, okay, so I'm going to delete that, either cut or clear, either one, it doesn't matter, same difference. Okay, so once again, at least thank goodness I got the hand feature there, so I know that much to go ahead and I can grab it now. So go ahead and put it back to normal. One more time. I think I did that 2 times in there, if I'm not mistaken. See, all right. Just want to make sure I'm hearing this correctly, because what's happening, I only want to do that once, right there. So, okay, so, I think, so it goes from this wave here to there. All right. Basically, wow. All right, so, think I can go ahead and cut that then, and move this in, because I only want to do that once. See, I've had 6 years to practice this song, basically. Haven't practiced it the whole 6 years, but I have practiced it a lot recently in 2016, and refined it as best as I could, because I knew I wanted to get back to that song and finally record it, you know. So I got the arrangement down to where I want it. I've already edited. There. Now this is not to mix it, okay? This is to really just basically get it down to what I'm going to do as the, how can I say, the refined rendition, okay? And the studio recording that I'm going to do here in this studio, but the arrangement, you know, so basically, as you'll see, this is actually, okay, this song is actually without the edits. So what have I got? I've got, so 6 minutes and 16 seconds on the original, and 6:16 on the original, and 5:23:24 on the remake. Now that it's a 5 minute and 20, it's 5.5 minute song. You know what? I like the song. This is an art as far as I'm concerned. Whether they like it or not and put it on the radio, because it's not 3.5 minutes, is not my, really, that's not what I'm aiming for. Okay, so I really am not concerned about that. 5.5 minutes for an original song that I composed, and that's what I'm looking at. I'm going to go ahead and keep both tracks. I'm going to go ahead and save this. Alrighty. And so I'm going to rename this here. Rename. Redemption. Original. Track. Okay. Now I'm going to Redemption Original, and I'm going to rename this as Redemption. I'm going to abbreviate it. Edited. Okay, so let's go here. Okay, guys, well, it looks like I might be coming kind of handy with this Pro Tools today, after all. So, as you can see, I've got my original version, which is going to be right here on the second track, okay? And that's what I brought in from my Tascam into the Pro Tools. And then the top track is the one I edited. How about, well, I was hoping to actually be able to move this track up here. Yep, let's see what happens. Oh, it worked. Voila, okay. Very good. There's a good order then, okay? So, we're learning this together, right? All right, so I just brought up the original track to the top, okay? Now, the second track is the edited version. And now what I did is I explored, and I wanted to take this whole track here in the second one and put it together as one without the lines, you know, from the edits. So I looked and I found a couple of different options. I knew I just wanted to take the one track and export it, okay? So I went to go export, but the problem is that if you export it, it puts it in either AAF or OMF, or OMG. No, no OMG, because I'm like, OMG, what is AAF or OMF? Anyway, but AAF is advanced authorized files for Pro Tools, okay, from what I understand. I think you can only bring that back into Pro Tools. So I wanted to, of course, export it, but not as that, but as a WAV file and also an MP3 file, okay. Export an individual track, okay. I don't want to bounce everything. I don't want to mix everything down and render it together, okay. So depending on what software you're using, what DAW you're using, whether that's Audacity or Pro Tools or whatever, there's the language is somewhat similar, not always the same thing, not always the same definition, and you can kind of look at it. There's some relativity there. Well, you can take individual tracks and turn them into WAV files or MP3s by bouncing them. All right, so I went to the feature where I did see bounce when I open up file, because this is usually where you'll find, at least in Audacity, I know Audacity, to where you're going to export something. Let's see, you can mix and render, and other DAWs, it's going to say mix and render. You're going to find any of that up in here on any of those DAWs. So you're going to have to sometimes explore and find out and read, right? So, but bouncing, so I got this highlighted one more time. Highlight that one track you want, take that, and you can bounce it to disk, and then you can choose a name for it, all right? And then you can choose your directory where you're going to send it, and then go ahead and bounce, and that's exactly what I did, and it actually turned it into, all right, I want to show you something here, people, if this will come up for me. It actually turned it into that individual track as a WAV file for me. And as far as MP3 goes, I don't think it did that also like I asked it to. I think I did ask it to do that. So let's just check that out. And yeah, oh, you know what? I forgot to click on that. I did one time and then I had to redo it and forgot to re-click on it. So you can also say, turn it into MP3 by going to the bounce from file to bounce, all right? But once again, you just open that up. It says type of file you want, WAV, right? Or you can do MP3, AIFF. I like the WAV, and I also can add it to MP3, and then you choose your directory. Where do you want to put it? I set mine to the desktop, and then hit bounce, and then it just mixes it down and sends it to your desktop. Now, once again, it's not an MP3, but I have other converters. I can change that into an MP3, no problem. Okay, I'm going to show you, and here it is. This is it right here. Here's the Redemption. All right, this is actually the track that I bounced. You'll notice it says WAV file. Okay, I like to run my stuff through Audacity. I like to check everything through Audacity. I like to use Audacity for quite a few things. Okay, so as you'll notice, the length is 5 minutes and some change. All right. And you're going to also notice, therefore, that's the edited version. So you're also going to notice, okay, let's go back to the this part. Let's go back to the DAW here, okay? And as you'll notice, this version, this rendition, the edit, is 5 minutes and some change. But what I also did, okay, now you see that this track right here, okay, is unedited. I mean, there's no cut marks in it, okay? If you want it to look nice, you know, and bring it together, right, that's what you get when you change it into a WAV file. So what I did now, in order to bring that WAV file in from my desktop that you just seen, I wanted to bring into DAW, and how I did that was basically import audio, go to audio, then you go to where it's at. Mine was on the desktop. We go down to here. Okay, where's it at? We're going to find it. It'll show up. I hit it twice. Okay, and then you want to hit done, and then it's going to ask you new track. You go ahead and say okay, and there it is. So as you'll notice, then this is the one that just brought in right here, and this track right there, and this is the one I had. So all right, it's the same thing. Now we can move this down. Simple as that. We can do this, right? Or move this up. How about that? Will that cooperate with me? There you go. All right, so basically that's how I brought this track in, and I just showed you how I did it. Okay, oops. And I just showed you how I did it with this track. All right, it's cooperating. So now I can go ahead and just get rid of this, delete it. I right-clicked on it, and go ahead and delete that. All right, so now we have our session, basically. I want to save that as, okay, a session, a different, I renamed it there, and I got rid of any other previous, session of this. It was named because I actually did change the name on this, and I got rid of the other loose ends, so to speak. So now we can go ahead and do that, and we're good. I will say that I'm happy with, being that this is an original version. Now I have the original, but I also have an edited original from now. When I re-listen to it, to refer to practice from, let's say, remind myself that I don't have to listen to the redundancies that I'm definitely not going to use in my 6 years later rendition. Because I mean, when you create a song, you compose a song, and you arrange it, it's one thing for a while. But when you go back to it and you replay it, if you're like me, which I'm certain most of you, or a lot of you are, that you're going to go back and you're going to definitely make edits. You're going to get rid of some redundancies. This is another word. It is redundant, and we don't want that. And next thing, besides that, it cuts it down in time. Now, I'm not trying to save on time, okay? I'm not going to sacrifice the integrity of the song, of what I know the original version is, or what I do believe it should be, for time. I'm not going to sacrifice it, okay? I want to stay true to the arrangement of what it should be from beginning to end to begin with. But what I got rid of was the unnecessary fat out of the song, which is the unnecessary repeats of those particular areas and those particular riffs or whatnot. We don't need them happening 4 times, if 1 time or 2 times conveys the message, right? And so anyway, that's what I did. I went from the original, downsized it. This is what I've been thinking now for 6 years. Okay, and now I've got a good reference track to listen to concerning my original version. All right. Now, it's a good thing that I have this original version, because when I did go back to performing this in 2016 to get ready to record it, so I'm rehearsing it, I knew I was leaving some pieces out, and thank God I had that original recording, because I went back and listened to that, and I found the pieces, not only just certain pieces, but also in the particular arrangement of the pieces I did remember. And I'm like, yes, because I was wondering, like, now on this part of the arrangement, which part do I do in this arrangement first, and then the other part second? Because there's like something going on in the end of the arrangement, where in the end of the song, where I'm playing something, then I repeat it on a different note, so to speak. Okay, and I was wondering which one I did first, and I couldn't quite seem to get it like I thought or what I wanted. I just knew that I did not have it right. It just did not sound correct according to the original, but I could not remember exactly the order it went into until I listened to the original. As a matter of fact, that happened today. I knew I had to go back and listen to the original for that sake, but I also just the other day found a piece that I knew was in there. Couldn't remember exactly what it was, but I found it, and I said, yes, that's it. Now I'm able to reintegrate that into my soon-to-be studio version. So with those pieces that were missing, I've now found them, okay? Refound them and put them back into the song. Now all that song I've been practicing is in good shape, and the arrangement is right, and those two pieces or more came back, and they're in there, and they're right. And so I'm just happy about this, and it's going to take some more practice. I actually did add another piece into the song, and I'm only letting that slide because I don't want anything else in the original except for the original, except on one occasion when I did a re-rendition, or actually did a studio version of the song. I found myself just carrying on, and I did a 10-minute version, adding different things to it, and then I found some really good stuff that could complement it. But when I went back and go, no, I'm going to do this studio version, I don't want that re-version. That's not the original, although there's a lot of great things in there, and I learned things, and it helped me with my guitar playing and whatnot, and some wonderful things I discovered, but I can't put all that in there. There's no way. It takes me away. All of a sudden, I'm on course. All of a sudden, it takes me down a different path. Okay, and it starts to become somewhat of a different song to go back to where now it goes back to the original song. It's too much. So, but there's one piece. That's what I like about things. Like if you get a whole lot of stuff and then you boil it down, and you can get one good gold nugget out of that. It's like mining. I took those things from that second rendition I'll put of the song Redemption, and I just basically just thought about it and got it down to one piece, okay, that really tells pretty much the whole story of that new part of that other renditions, out of that. So I'm adding that into my original that wasn't there. It's just a small, relatively, I'd say somewhat quick piece in the song. Does give it a little bit more length, therefore. So if I got this song down right now to 5 minutes and some change, 5:24, something like that. So 5 minutes, 24 seconds. But now I add that other piece in there. Yeah, I might add another 30 seconds on it. So I'm going to have a 6-minute song. Well, geez, it ain't no radio version. That ain't never going to make it on the radio with 6 minutes. Well, it certainly ain't going to make it on the radio with 5.5 neither, I figure. So if they got to be 3.5 minutes to make it on the radio, since it's probably already not going to make it on the radio, what have I got to lose? Nothing, man. Put another 30 seconds in there and I got more to gain. That's how I look at it. This is an art. I'm not famous, you're right. Dire Straits is, and they got some good songs the last 10 minutes, and I love it. And that's the thing I like about, what I do. How about you? Okay? So anyway, what can I say? I don't want to play this song because I know it's not that, even the edited version, because I know it's not that great. And besides that, I don't want to unveil too much. You've seen what, some of it in in this video of me going through the edits or not, whatnot. But here's the track, people. This is the done deal. I'm going to play just a little bit of that, and I am going to go out with this. Okay, so here we go. Rob's part. Here it is. Fast forwarding. I know it sounds pretty terrible. I know, but hey, this is a good song and it's diamond in the rough. And now a good studio version is gonna do this song justice. I appreciate it. Thank you. They're your creation, man. So you know what? Get on with it. Create your music and share it with the world. All right. I just want to say this is Top Cat Jimmy, and thank you for tuning into my channel. Let's see. This is Pro Tools session, and hopefully y'all learned some stuff. I know that I did. And we're just going to save that. I'm going to go ahead and get on out of this here, okay? And I'm going to close this window on the Pro Tools session. And I don't need to save it. It's already saved. All right, so Once again, this is Top Cat Jimmy. Thank you for tuning into my channel. And I think I need to take out the trash. There it is. Empty that wastebasket. Keep it nice and neat and tidy. All right, Top Cat Jimmy here. Thank you once again. And I appreciate you visiting me. I'll see you again sometime in the future, hopefully soon. God bless you. Sayonara. I salute you. And see you again next time.